Financial Matters.
Dr. Frank Magwegwe is here in the studio with me. Dr. Frank, are you good this evening?
I'm good, Frank.
Hey, I believe you were in Cape Town, man.
It was raining, it was cold. I took our wisdom of our show to the Espresso Breakfast Show.
Wonderful. Really?
Yes.
So they broadcast from Cape Town?
From Cape Town, yes, yeah.
I've always felt that they've got a bit of a Cape Town feel.
It does, yeah. So I was there 6:30 early in the morning. Yeah, and it was good. We were talking about goals and finance and financial stress, yeah.
Did you tell them that, hey, man, my roots are in Jozi there by 7:02?
Yes, I did,
night,
yeah.
With that crazy one.
Good. Yes. Lots of that crazy one, yeah. Yeah, it was good.
In keeping with the spirit of youth,
yes,
you are asking a very pertinent question. What is that question?
Yeah, I thought we can use today to get our listeners to reflect. So we simply saying, what are some of those lessons that you tell your younger self about finances? And perhaps that question helps the listener, Cape Talks and 702 listener, good evening. What does it help you with? It helps you to kind of look back and see where have you come with your financial journey. What has worked, what hasn't worked, what are you excited about, right? And it also helps the younger folks because we're excited about youth mind. Young people often, they don't like being told direct advice, especially younger people of today. So storytelling and saying, this is what didn't work for me. This is what worked for me. See how you make sense out of it. That's a wonderful way of just helping someone think about where they are as a young person with their own finances. So we really would like to invite our Cape Talk listeners, our 702 listeners, to call and just tell us, if you look back, what is that one or two things that you'd write or you tell your younger self? I've got a few. I'm sure perhaps you've got yours.
I've got a billion.
You've got a lot, right? So really would like the interactive show and people learn about finances, in a nice, non-judgmental way, but also just getting you to reflect. Because everyone has walked a long journey with finances.
You speak about the non-judgmental tone of financial advice.
Yes.
I think it was Noluba... Babalwa Nongeng, yes. And how she beautifully explained the importance of tone in the conversation that involves financial advice. Really beautiful and very, very conscious, very, very conscientious explanation.
Yes.
To say that we're not here to come and judge.
Correct.
We're not here to come and point a finger and wag a finger at you. Because it can feel like that.
And perhaps, it's so interesting you say that. Because it's not about you, so let's say me as the coach, telling the client I'm not judging you. It's how they experience you.
Precisely.
Because I remember many years ago I was doing some work at Sasso Coal Mining, and the lady is talking about, I always move money from my check account into my savings account, and then a week before payday I run out of money, and then I have to go and use that money that was for savings. Hey, perhaps, can you imagine the first thing that came out of my mouth? Why did you do that? And that came out as judging. Rofiwa, I remember vividly. And she just burst out laughing. I thought, why am I talking to young judge?
So it's very, very important for our listeners to understand that these kinds of conversations are really not here to come and judge you and to try and parade our ignorance or knowledge about anything.
Nothing at all.
This is really an attempt to really get at the bottom of understanding how our thinking and our knowledge affects our financial decisions, which ultimately
how come we did that? What was happening?
So I want to share one pivotal piece of advice I would give my younger self. And it is this. Instant gratification.
That's a big one.
Is overrated.
Yes.
Instant gratification is overrated. I know, even at this age, past 50, I have to still hold back,
Yeah.
hold my horses, and understand that what I desire is accessible if I just wait a little.
Yes.
And that is the one piece of advice I would give myself, because I would trust myself. If I could speak to my younger self, I would know that my older self knows what he's talking about, because, I've been through.
And that's a big one.
And the big one that I would say to myself is, hey, but instant gratification is way overrated. Relax. Chill.
I love that.
Learn the process.
Be patient.
Get your character built by the process rather than the event that you believe is the result. Instant gratification is way overrated.
And perhaps that's one of the big challenges we face as consumers in South Africa. Because if we build on that theme, you and I know how our parents used to get furniture at Joshua Door, lay-by.
And Illerins.
And Ellerins.
And
right? Bradlow's. Do you remember?
I remember.
And remember, part of lay-by going away, it's instant gratification. Why must I pay for 6 months? Then when I pay the last installment, you deliver. I can just get a loan, right? And that's part of how the world has shifted from you want it, get it. I mean, perhaps you were asking me last week when I was talking about these big businesses that does online loans. They even claim in less than 2 minutes, perhaps, they can give you 3,000 rand. You want it, you get it.
Now.
Right? And so you really bring out, and I'm sure our listeners will build on that theme. Let me also add mine, because it speaks to that. And it's so interesting. Here we are sitting at the 702 studios here, and not far from here, about 300 meters, in fact, I can even tell you the date. 7 October 1998. I got my license for ops. 7 October 98. I'm a risk manager just down the road here at Investec. And I walked out to the old Village Walk. There used to be a Honda dealership there.
Yes.
And I just walked in, dressed nicely, and I walked out having proudly purchased VTEC, silver, 2-door, leather seats, 1.8. Hey, Baba, that car, Chris. Hey! I couldn't wait. I didn't need a brand new car, Robs. I didn't even talk to someone who knew about cars. I was the first person in my household to get a degree, to go to university, and now to buy a car. So what did I tell myself? Same thing. That instant gratification can mislead you. For me, I got my license. What I needed was a good second-hand car. Because down the road, I realized I didn't afford this car. There was a big residual or balloon payment that they put for me to be able to buy the car. I didn't even think of insurance. And just the maintenance of a car costs money. Again, you can see that idea. I want a car. I walk into a dealership, and as if with magic, he just said, can you afford 1,800? Yes, I can. He didn't even tell me that he had put 40% residual ops. So you can see my shock on realizing that down the road. And it happens with holidays, it happens with cars, it happens with buying clothes. And the thing is about learning that you're often instant gratification drives me, and you put plans to protect yourself.
Give us a call, 011-8830-702-021-446-0567. Dr. Frank Magwegwe is asking a very, very important question. If you had that magic wand and you were able to speak to your younger self today, what important advice would you give about your finances? Give us a call. I've spoken about the whole issue of instant gratification. Oh, how I wish I could go back to my 19-year-old self. Oh, how I wish I could go back to my 19-year-old self and grab myself by the scruff of the neck and say, yay! Stop it! Give me a call. I'd love to hear from you. What is that advice that you would give yourself if you had that ability to go back to your younger self and say, hey, no, don't do this. You don't have to worry about this. And I know for sure, I now know for sure, this is something I know.
I know for sure. I love the emphasis.
Absolutely. you can wait.
Absolutely.
And in the final analysis, the wait is really not that long.
It's not long. Isn't it interesting, Bra Oaks, that as you get older, your perception of time changes? I remember saying to my daughter, 3 years, that's not a long wait. She's 20. She's like, what? So your perception of time I'm going to plan, and end of the year I'll do the following. When you're young, that year looks like 10 years, 5 years.
My 17-year-old says, Dad, so in the olden days...
Yeah?
In the olden days, did you guys have cell phones?
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Yeah.
So I suppose the whole issue of time and perspective is quite relative. And I suppose the question you're asking, that if it was you speaking to your younger self.
Not giving someone advice to your younger self.
Yes, your younger self. Understanding the kind of individual you are.
Yes.
Your proclivities, your own... issues as a person.
Correct.
What would you say? And I want to add, Doctor, how would you say it?
Yes.
Because you see...
That matters a lot.
Because I mean, just going back to the whole thing about tone.
Yes.
I know that there was a lot of good advice that I got.
Oh, yeah. We all did.
That I didn't listen to because I misinterpreted the tone.
Correct.
I used the word misinterpreted. Because the very fact that the information I was getting was good advice means that the tone was as a result of identifying something in me that needed that tone.
Yes. Yeah.
But because of the kind of, how should we say, stubborn kid I was, I didn't listen to the good advice because I thought tone was the issue. So tone is important.
It matters.
How would you then speak to yourself? I know that I would have to come to me and sit me down.
Yes.
It wouldn't work to shout at me. You'd need to sit me down.
Yes.
You'd need to really find me in a very pensive mood and sit me down.
Yeah.
And the tone would need to be matter of fact. It would need to be unjudgmental.
Yes.
It would need to be objective. But it would need to be firm.
Yeah.
With me, that's what the tone would be. And then the voice would have to boom out and say, instant gratification is overrated. Bali on Twitter says, looking back, my advice to my younger self is don't upgrade the car.
That's a beautiful one.
Fastest money pit to unnecessary debt. Drive it for as long as you can, says Mbali. Yeah, my side pocket bucky has had it.
Yeah.
They were talking about the Comrades Marathon yesterday. Did you run? You ran. You didn't go this year. Anyway, and they told me that they ran for 89 kilometers. Yes. Now my bucky is not going to do that.
Can you imagine?
My bucky is not going to make it. My bucky would have a nervous breakdown. Yeah. So I've ridden my bucky till it can say nothing anymore. Yeah. So I'm ready. I'm ready now to buy a car.
That's what Mbali saying, right?
Yes. Yeah. I'm ready now to get a good second hand. Yeah. A good second hand. Yeah. So yes, please give us a call.
That's a lovely one from Mbali.
011-883-0702 is the number to dial. 021-446. What would be the advice that you would give yourself? Avril is in Cape Town. Good evening to you, Avril.
Hi, Aubrey.
Good evening to you.
Good evening, Avril.
In hindsight, we had such a fun purchase when our little girl was born in 1956.
Wow.
We didn't have money for a car, so we went to a scrapyard and bought a Fiat for £10.
£10.
My goodness.
This is what, 1956?
56.
Yeah, maybe 57.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of fun in it, and we had to take our little girl around the block every night because she wouldn't sleep if she wasn't in the car. And the door fell off the car one time.
Oh, my goodness.
And we had to pick it back and tie it back on.
Tell me, Avril.
We drove to Paarl to a beauty contest with the door. Anyway, we were eventually able to get the car we wanted, which was a safer, newer car with finance from a company.
Yeah. Oh, wonderful. With all of the knowledge that you've amassed around And I imagine it's very practical knowledge about finances, Avril.
Yeah.
What would you say? What one thing would you say to your younger self about finance?
What would I say? I'm in my 80s now, so I should be wise.
So there's that just confirmed to me that you are wise.
Yes,
Avril, go ahead.
I think don't overextend yourself. Make sure you can replay. Don't listen to your friends who are going to buy fancy cars. Buy something practical, suitable, and what you need. Don't follow your friends. Follow your finances.
Beautiful. Wow.
Beautiful stuff. Avril, thank you so much.
Don't
much
follow your
appreciated.
friends. Follow your finances. So practical, right? Because often it's we're at varsity together, we now work together, but we don't know each other's pockets. And someone buys this car and you say, yo, GTI, I need something that competes with that. I love the phrase. Don't follow your friends. Follow your finance. Yeah.
Give us a call. We'd love to hear more of that kind of advice. What would you say to your younger self?
And perhaps
would you listen?
You know, you're talking about tone.
Yep.
And for me, knowing myself, I would also go for, I am not, because I think I've got some level of willingness to take risk.
Yeah.
I think often when I didn't listen was when the person giving me advice was putting too much emphasis on the consequences. If you continue on this route, this is what you will end up like this.
Yes.
My brain doesn't work like that. So for me, it's almost like, oh, really?
I want to see.
I'm not a person who, I've got a high risk tolerance.
Yes.
So I've looked over the years where I actually should have changed course. And why I didn't. It was someone who set me down, but they overemphasize the consequences. And I'm just wired to really let me see.
Yeah. My life has largely been a challenging of the so-called known consequences.
You go. Yes.
That's been my life. So it wouldn't really work to speak to me and say, if you do this, the boogeyman's going to come and eat you.
There you go. Exactly.
Unless he looks like a certain former commissioner of police.
Yeah.
But because you challenge me, now you're saying, let's go. Yeah. Because I love a bit of a dare, like you say.
Exactly.
So for me, it can't be about the finger wagging.
Correct. Yes.
Because now you're challenging me. Yes. Now it's like, oh, okay, let's do this. Let's see where this is going to go. So I agree 100% with you, Dr. Frank. We'd love to hear from you. What would be the advice to your younger self? Ndogozo is in 4 ways. Let's speak to Ndogozo. Good evening to you, Ndogozo.
Good evening, gentlemen. How are you?
Very well, my brother. You good?
Exceedingly well. How are you?
I'm all right. You know, I just jumped in the car now on my way to buy gas for the house because of load shedding.
Oh, yeah.
And I obviously heard the conversation. And I've always been such a fan of cars since I was a kid, right? Yeah. And I buy them.
Yeah.
So there was a point when I used to change cars every year.
Yeah.
Because for me it was like a thing that makes me happy, right?
Yes.
And I think I've gotten to a place where I've accepted that this is a curse that I must just accept.
Yes.
Right? I don't compare myself to anyone.
Yeah.
I genuinely buy them. So what I've done is over the years, so last year I traded in a car that I'd had for 7 years, which was a record for me, right?
Yeah, that's a record for South Africans, 7 years.
So what I've done is I then upgraded it for something bigger and better.
Yeah.
And then I know that I'll probably drive that for 10 years.
Awesome.
So I guess my rationale is I buy really dope cars and then just keep them for longer.
Yeah.
But I think if I were probably to my younger self, I'd just say, enjoy the moment.
Yeah.
I really feel like we sometimes, and I think be savvy with your money, but to work hard.
Yes.
And if you can't afford it, don't do it.
Yes.
But if you can, if I could, I'd have a garage with 20 cars.
Yeah.
Wow.
But no one should lack at any moment. No one's school fees can't go unpaid because you've got a car.
Yeah.
But if you can afford it, I'm waiting for like an extra paycheck and I'm getting a Porsche.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
wow.
Ntokozo, you're a man after my own heart. Because I've got a similar car fetish, right? I really love cars. I really, really, really love cars. I love high performance cars. And one day, from your lips to God's ears, the Porsche must stand in my garage one day, right?
Oh, Shandarabusha.
but I receive. But here's the thing, Douglas. What I'm loving about what you're saying is that follow your finances.
I love it. Yes.
Not your friends.
Yes.
I mean, it's exactly the same advice that Avril has just given us now.
Yes.
If your finances give you access, it gives you within your means.
Yeah.
Be sober about it.
Yeah.
Be clear about it. But it does not necessarily mean that you must stop living, right?
Yeah. I love that.
So I love the balance that you're bringing into the conversation.
Yeah. Anyway,
so what's the, just between you and I, Ntokozo, what's the latest one in the garage?
Oh, so I got a BMW X4.
Oh my word.
It was custom made. It left Germany with my name on it.
Oh my goodness! Listen to this guy.
All right, go away. We don't want to talk to you anymore. We don't want to hear you. We don't want to talk to you anymore. Those are 4 ways. Go forth and live, my brother. Go forth and live.
Wow.
What day, Dr. Magwegwe? What day?
With his name from Germany, my goodness. But you know what I like about it? The point around well-being.
Yes.
Around the happiness.
Yes.
Because we also need to make plans to enjoy life.
Absolutely.
So kind of that balance that follow your finances, that if it makes me happy, you can see the theme that's coming up. It's not about punishing yourself. It's not about depriving yourself. It's really being kind of realistic, right? Around what are my finances saying at this point in time.
And for me, Doc, it's really, really the same theme that's coming from Avril to Ntokozo to say, follow your finances and not your friends, right? Because, I mean, maybe Ntokozo's friends are saying to him, no, stick with the side pocket.
There you go. Yes.
Well, Ntokozo doesn't have to.
Doesn't have to.
He understands his finances. He understands the reality of it. So, again, I think what's coming out is that we need to be authentic.
Understand ourselves.
Yeah. Let's take some more calls. Temba is in Forsterers. Hi, Temba.
Hello, Temba.
Hello, how are you?
Very good, thanks, Temba. What's on your mind?
Yes, I regret not investing in the stock market 10 years back.
Tell us more.
Yes, I watched the performance of the stock market on CNBC. You know CNBC?
Yes.
And Business Day TV.
Yes.
And also on Yahoo Finance.
Yes. Wow.
I was checking the performance on Yahoo Finance. I realized that if I invested 10 years back, my money would be 10 times higher.
Yeah.
I need to ask 10 years back. So I regret.
Yeah.
So I should have told my younger self to invest.
And build wealth. So you're talking about putting money aside so that it grows if you look back.
Yeah.
Missed opportunities, right? But what I love, in Temba, what I love is I'm looking at Bra Opsis across me here, and I'm just saying how blessed we are with the quality, with the listeners to this show. I mean, you're talking Yahoo Finance, Business Day TV, CNBC, and Bra Ops connecting the dots. You know, we had a full session on building wealth through shares, and that's what Temba is saying, right? And so what I want to say to you, Temba, it's never too late. I'm sure if you put money in today, and you look 5, 10, 15 years, those opportunities are still there because you've got new ideas, new companies. I mean, look at, the world of artificial intelligence that's coming up. Look at just, the companies that are starting and growing into Africa. So there are many opportunities. The Vodacoms of this world, the MTN that have gone into financial services. So it's never too late.
I've noticed that some companies, they double annually.
The share price, it can happen, yes.
It's doubled annually on average.
Yeah.
Over 10 to 15 years.
Yeah. So Themba, with that lesson, are you finding yourself any little extra you have? Is it driving you to save, to invest with the potential that you see in shares, and given what you saw 10 years back?
Yes, and I've noticed that there's no minimum. You can invest on easy equities.
Correct. Wow.
Easy equities.
Yes.
You can invest from 10 Rand.
Yeah.
From 10 Rand upwards.
Yeah.
Any amount.
Yeah.
You don't have to have thousands.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is excellent. What a lovely
Themba,
call.
thanks very much for your call. Much appreciated. I think Themba was also listening to the conversation.
How powerful is that?
My colleague, Moteo Huaripe, was having with an executive from Satrix. Satrix?
Yeah, that's also, yes.
Satrix?
It could be Satrix, owned by Sanlam. That's one of the big providers of exchange-traded funds.
And she was speaking, or they were speaking about the opportunity that we should be giving our children.
Yes.
How we should take the opportunity to start teaching our children
early,
as soon as they are born. And I remember the lady that Moteo was speaking to saying that there's no limit to how low you can get to start.
Yes, absolutely.
And for me, I would say to myself, my younger self, as soon as you start having children, start investing for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Investing.
Yes.
Yeah, not just saving, but investing for them.
Taking some risk so that it grows. I agree. Yeah. In fact, you reminded me, Bra Ops, one that I would also put, for myself.
Yeah.
Because I did change jobs quite often when I was younger.
Yeah.
I think I just would look back and, sort of, sit myself down, and without that fear or that you will struggle in retirement but more a story around, do you realize every time you change jobs and cash your pension, how much you are paying in tax, firstly, and then the missed opportunity of getting that money grow because it's gone when you cash it. Because I did change jobs quite often. I would say that to myself. And you can see now I know myself. I'm not the one to say the consequences are this. Tell me the opportunity I'm missing.
Yes.
It's, do you know?
Yes.
The amount of, exactly Themba's point.
Yes.
You would have.
Yes.
Had you not cased the, for me, that works for me. I would say that to myself.
In a conversation that Moteo was having yesterday with the guest that she had, that he had, she says, I started earning and I had around about 5,000 Rand.
Yeah.
Had I invested that money then, 5,000 Rand, today it would be 53,000 Rand.
There you go. 10 times. 10 Themba was talking about 10 times.
Hey, man.
That is powerful, right?
It is very powerful stuff. Can we take one more call?
Yeah.
Spongile is in Midrand. Good evening to you, Spongile.
Hi, Spongile.
Good evening, bro. Good evening, Mr. Magwegwe. How are you guys?
Very well.
Good evening.
Spongile.
Thanks
Go
for
ahead.
calling and being a loyal listener to our show.
Definitely. In fact, I want to just derail a bit if you allow to me.
No, please go for it.
To the call of the guy who was talking about cars. So I'm not a car person.
Ndogozo, yes.
But I honestly understand that in the midst of investing, it's always important to do what you like. So I just came back from Spain and France.
Come on!
To watch Formula 1 and to watch Roland Garros.
But you see the people are calling. The other one, the cars with their name from Germany.
Yeah, we can't have fun. What?
Exactly.
F1.
It doesn't. Exactly, yeah.
Spongile. Yo.
Yes.
Yo, you're making us so jealous. You're treating yourself. That is so awesome. Well done.
Yeah, you know what? I planned for it for the past 3 years.
Yeah.
So it was not like a whim. It was
right.
But I think let's get to the point of why I called.
Yes.
So if I were to talk to my younger self,
yes,
it will be yes. I think there's something called a pensionable earning ratio.
Yes.
That no one actually tells you how important that is when you are young.
Yeah.
You know, I work for one of the big banks.
Yeah.
And when I started with my pension, you know, I put my pension and earning ratio at the lowest level, which for the company that I work for, it's 70%, which basically means that your pension is calculated at 70% of your annual salary.
Correct.
Which makes a massive difference if you put it at the highest level.
Correct.
Which in my organization is 90%.
Yeah.
And that makes, I promise you, when I changed that in 2017, my pension has doubled.
It's big.
Just by doing that.
Yeah.
You know, my pension has doubled. And it made a massive difference in my life.
Wow.
So I think this is something that no one...
That's a powerful message. Yeah.
No one talks to us about it more. And yet it's a critical thing to do. So if I were to go back to my younger self, I would have done that much earlier.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for a powerful call. Thank you.
Yeah, for young people joining the world of work.
That.
Yeah.
What did Spongile just say to us?
She said she planned and went to watch the Grand Prix in Spain.
I got that. But what pensionable? What?
Oh,
who,
yes.
How? Where?
So, yes, that's a powerful. I'm so glad it came out.
Yeah.
So what she's saying is, because most companies in South Africa offer employees, if you're working, the opportunity to contribute to a retirement fund, they have amounts that they recommend that you contribute. So you can talk of it in the 90, 70, 80% that Spongile spoke of it. An easier way to say it, that's easy for our 702 and Capital listeners, is that the company often says, do you want to contribute? And they will give you a range, 5, 10, 15, 20, because the maximum at the moment is 27.5%.
Right. So
27.5% of your total remuneration, you're allowed to invest it.
Right.
You're allowed to put it aside for pension.
Right.
So what she's saying is, most people, including me, I also did that. You start working, you take the lowest, often it's 5 or 10%. Why? You contribute the lowest so that you get more cash in the bank.
Sure.
But you never go and adjust as your circumstances change. So you find people have been working for 10, 15 years. They contribute the lowest. And of course, when we say contributing the lowest, you are putting little aside for retirement. And so it will hit you when you get to retirement.
Wow.
So she's saying she wished she'd been told.
And what is it called? The pensionable ratio.
Yeah, percentage of pensionable ratio.
Yeah.
How much are you contributing towards your pension?
Wow.
Yes.
Spongile, thank you so much.
The higher, the better.
Thank you so much, Spongile. I think that we were having a conversation last night with an actuary.
Yeah.
And she was talking to us about this two-pot system that is going to be kicking in
1 March 2024.
As of 1st of March.
Yes.
And in fact, it sounds like a three-pot system. But,
Yes.
but the whole consciousness around pensions.
Yes.
And how to choreograph our lives around what we can maximize for that time of our lives is so important.
Yeah.
So that's why Spongile's call is so very, very important.
Yeah.
But also, Spongile's trip to Spain and all of these lovely places to go and watch F1 was not an instant gratification.
She said she planned for 3 years.
So you see that it's possible.
Yes.
If we plan.
The power of setting a goal planning, and working towards it,
We've got a voice note just before we finish. Chris?
Hi, Aubrey. Hi, Dr. Frank Magwegwe. Thank you very much for an awesome show. I would just like to touch on the point that you made, Aubrey, about instant gratification. Just to tell you the story quickly, I lived my entire life just trying to find instant gratification moments. And I wasn't present in life. I don't know how to explain this right, but I realized in this year that it was all the bad things that happened to me in my life was because of instant gratification, whether that is financially or in other parts of my life. So yes, I would just love to say thank you very much for the show, and that is one of the biggest life lessons one can learn. If you just work towards your goals and you give yourself enough time, everything is possible. But the quick way is never the right way. So one question I'd like to ask myself every day, and I'd like to suggest to your listeners to ask themselves that question is, what is one hard thing that I can do today that my future self will thank me for? Thank you very much for an awesome show. Cheers.
Jeez, man.
Future self. How powerful is that, bro? Difficult things today, but they'll pay off.
Yeah, what does the governor say, the Reserve Bank governor say about something like that?
He said, take your medicine.
Now.
South African, take your medicine now. Interest rates will go up so that we benefit from lower inflation down the road.
Yeah, I must still get my head around.
It's difficult to understand that one. We must talk about it next time.
Absolutely.
Yes, yeah.
Dr. Frank, as we close, your prescription for this.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you saw from today.
Yep.
The power of reflecting on your financial journey. What is worked? Because that's really what we're doing. And you'd give someone to celebrate what isn't worked.
Yeah.
Right? And I just want to finish off with this beautiful prescription that we got on the voice note. To just say, what are the difficult things that I'm doing today? But my goodness, they will set me up for good financial well-being in the future. So reflect on your financial journey. Do difficult things that sets you up for good financial well-being in the future. That is my prescription for today.
Reflection is the word, folks.
Yes.
One of the better shows we've had
It
for
was
a long
awesome.
time. Yeah?
Yes.
It was really cool. Dr. Frank
It was
Magwegwe, who
great.
soon is going to be professor.
Thank you.
Frank Magwegwe, and we've thoroughly enjoyed this evening's show.
Sure.
Remember, in the next hour, I'm going to be speaking to Nick Pope, former British government UFO project leader and the world's leading expert on UFOs, the unexplained and conspiracy theories. He'll be talking about an interview that was aired on the 11th of June 2023 with a rather high-ranking whistleblower. The whistleblower is making some pretty startling allegations, to say the least. And Nick will give us more information in the next hour. I'm really looking forward to that conversation. The way the world is going now, Dr. Frank.
I'm going to tune into that. That's very interesting.
You need to tune in on the weird and the wonderful. But once again, Dr. Frank, thank you very much for joining us this evening.
Awesome, just fantastic.
Great show today.
Yeah,
really
100%.
wonderful show.